Welcome and thanks for tuning in with me, Moeen, your relationship educator, for our questions and answer session. I hope your day is going good so far. Today I have a question on how does lack of communication affect my relationship? Let me start by establishing what is communication in a relationship. Or, in other words, what does communication looks like in a relationship? There are various definitions out there, but let me bring your attention to, in a simple term, what communication looks like in a relationship. It can be viewed as simple talking with each other, right? Expressing yourself, listening to your partner, hearing, and paying attention. Very important that I emphasize listening and hearing. Because when one listens, sometimes to a conversation, we have to consider, is the individual hearing what I'm saying to them? And that can only happen when you are paying attention. And so the lack of what I just defined is what could be called poor communication. Now, research has shown that poor communication or lack of communication seems to be one of the most common marital issues. You see, sometimes couples may tend to push whatever they are experiencing or what they are having a problem with. They may push it aside rather than talking about it. And when this happens, it can cause some resentment to grow for sure, but it can also be considered a lack or poor communication within the relationship, which on the other hand is unhealthy, because the only way that you are able or you will be able to work on issues is to talk with each other. When challenges arise in a relationship, what happens sometimes is that couples lack the communication skills to properly discuss the issues. And I find that to be a fact. Some persons really, it's not that they don't want to talk, but sometimes they really don't know how to. And when that happens, it does cause the relationship to suffer. The other thing is that lack of communication sometimes can lead to what is called the blame game. It can also lead to relationship anxiety and other stress issues. Other stress related issues will pop up because there is not that avenue to talk about things that is affecting an individual or both individuals within the relationship. I would like also to share that when two people get married, I want you to bear this in mind, that they come from two different backgrounds who have different methods as how they communicate. From parenting, childhood days, the communication, how it looks with their parents, what they learn or what they didn't learn. However, let me say, couples can get it right if they express themselves in an amiable way with each other, being open-minded and willing to attune to each other. And for this to happen, couples, you need strong emotional and physical bonding to be successful. So it's not just to say one word or two words and I don't care. It has to be a continuous situation where couples find it a pleasure to really engage with each other and talk. If couples genuinely love each other, let's face it, they will make the effort to communicate, as lack of communication will affect your work, and it can also affect whatever happening in the home. And in addition, it can affect your intimate life, your sexual life. I want to say to couples that whatever you did not see or hear or learn in your younger days, I have heard adult couples who say that I can't do any better because I didn't see my father do this, or I didn't see my mother do this, or I did not grow in an environment where this was displayed. But here what I have to say is that as we become adults, we have to learn to develop the things that are or that we consider to be good for our relationship. And one of those things is good communication. Another factor is that you can become emotionally distant from each other because of lack of communication. The less you communicate with your spouse, the more emotionally distant you will become. Talking is how you connect, right? Talking is how couples connect. The reality is, when there is a lack of communication in marriage, love will gradually fade. It will get into a corner. It will get into a corner. It will be cornered, okay? Lack of communication also, I want to put that out there, causes partner criticism. It also causes defensiveness, silent treatment, and overall wrong assumptions. Because the reality is, if a spouse leave home and do not share with his or her partner, for example, where they're going, this may result in having the wrong assumptions. If you're not communicating with your spouse, all sorts of assumptions can be made in the relationship. And so I want to encourage communication. Communication is very important. It's a key factor. If you're bottling up personal problems and it is observed that you prefer to share with maybe other family members or friends, this also can cause issues. It can build up more stress-related issues within the relationship. So be careful, because sometimes the communication happens outside of the relationship. That again is not very healthy. You can get some help, yes, but you won't have to be careful. Make sure that whatever is causing the communication not to be happening at home or within the relationship, that is worked on. In closing, I want to say lack of communication also causes a feeling of lack of validation for each other, or that your partner does not hear you or care for your needs can be discouraging. Okay? It shows a level of neglect in the relationship. I would ask that an effort be made in all relationship to practice the art of communication so that your marriage does not become stagnant due to this lack of what I call gold attribute within the relationship that is called communication. And so, to avoid any disaster, please talk with your spouse and express your joy, your sorrow, your wants, your needs, and anything else that is on your mind. Just talk. Just talk with each other. May God blessing be yours always. And please remember to click the subscribe button. Thanking you always. See you next time. Thank you for listening. If you find this video helpful and you'd like to work with a relationship coach, please connect with me on my LinkedIn page. And please remember to hit the notification button and subscribe to my channel. May God blessing be yours always, and see you next time.